Hey, Deranged Duncan back here with a video, and I'm here to talk about 3 wrestling events I went to last weekend with my girlfriend Amy. Talking about Bar Wrestling 13, Hold On to Your Butts, which happened to be the 1-year anniversary of Bar Wrestling. Of course, ran by famous Dick Wrestler, or should I say, famous ghostly wrestler, Joey Ryan. For those that watch Being the Elite, you know what I'm talking about. Fuck yeah. But yeah, Bar Wrestling 13. Oh man, was that crazy. Also met a celebrity from there, which I didn't expect to have happen. Yep, there you go. We met the one and only David Arquette, Deputy Dewey himself. He didn't get involved in any of the matches, but he did do some, look like commentary for the upcoming DVD and Blu-ray releases, and also for the video downloads that will be available, I believe, on highspots.com. Bar Wrestling, I'll tell you what, it is freaking insane. If you ever get to go to a show when you're in LA, do it. Especially right now while the prices are reasonable, because who knows, maybe it'll be like the next Pro Wrestling Guerrilla where prices skyrocket because of the insane talent that comes in, and it could be a hard ticket to come by. You never know. I mean, shit, it's only been 2 bar wrestling shows for me personally, and of course for Amy. And man, oh man, we've made some memories. And my buddy Weapon X 1990, he was with us there for the Candice LeRae show. He was also at the show where they had the hurricane. So you just never know what kind of memories are going to happen at bar wrestling. So I'll show you the autographs in just a bit. The other 2 shows I went to were Rise 8 Outback. For those that don't know what Rise is, it's all about developing tomorrow's women wrestlers, tomorrow's women's athletes. Man, oh man, I'll tell you what, Rise is a lot of fun to go to. It's my 3rd time being at a Rise show. All 3 times was a part of a double shot weekend with another great promotion, which happened to be the 3rd show of this, which was AWS Women's Tournament number 6. Whoo, man. Before I get to AWS, let me talk about more about Rise here. The theme was Outback. Obviously, there were wrestlers from Australia. Got to meet Team Blue Nation, Jessica Troy and Charlie Evans. And also got to meet another wrestler, Shazza McKenzie. I'll tell you what, all 3 of them were awesome to talk to. They were all hilarious, very engaging, and this is what I love about independent wrestling shows. Wrestlers engage with the fans. They're very humble, they care. It's not like WWE or the big time where you gotta hope that fucking hell once a year it comes to your town and maybe you'll get a little wave or a little selfie behind a fucking fence or something with that wrestler. Fuck no. Fuck that, man. Sorry for the rant, but that's just how I feel when it comes to the big time. I mean, yeah, I grew up watching World Wrestling Federation, but it's boring as hell to watch nowadays. I prefer the independents. I prefer going to the shows, as you all know. It's just the experience. It just speaks for itself. Everything up close and personal. All the crazy action, all the great wrestling, seeing people rise, if you will, from the lower echelon where they're just students to all of a sudden becoming main eventers, stars, and maybe making it onto the big time. You never know when that could happen. And a lot of the participants at Rise, like the Mia Yims, the Nicole Savoys, Mercedes Martinez, Miranda's, so many others were also in the Mae Young Classic back in 2017, of course. So who knows about this year's? But anyway, let's get on to the autographs. And before I do, here's another badass photo op. Wrestling Triple Shot Weekend Haul. Here we are. All right, let's get it started here with the very first Rise event, Rise Ignite. Featuring, of course, the Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler, who many of you know from NXT by now. Well, I got this thing signed by Mercedes Martinez, the Latina sensation, pictured right there. the very first Rise event, which took place, I believe, in Berwyn, Illinois, which seems to host a lot of their events over there. But there you go. So many other great names on here, such as Saraya Knight, the mother of Paige from WWE, Shotzi Blackheart, the Fallen Flower, Kikyo, Angel Dust, Chelsea Green, Britt Baker, Delilah Doom, so many more. This was the very first Rise event, Rise Ignite. Of course, the next Rise event was Rise 2 Ascent, which I already had signed by the Latina sensation, Mercedes Martinez, and this was also my very first Rise show I ever attended. And man, oh man, this opened my eyes, definitely. But did not get any new signatures on this one now, but I just figured I'd show you that because that was the second event. The next event was not Rise 3. The next event was Gain, Stand with Knights. This was the show that was pretty much life or death for the company. And lo and behold, Rise has survived. And there you see I have it signed by the Latina sensation, Mercedes Martinez. And there you go. It's got the Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler, Michael Elgin, so many other greats on here. Angel Dust. Man, oh man. Can't wait to watch this one because I'm very curious to see how this turned out, especially with this one being life or death for the company. Up next, Rise 3 Medic. Had this one signed by the ballsy badass Shotzi Blackheart. Oh man. She happened to take on Angel Dust in a dog collar match. And from what I've seen in pictures, it looked like a total bloodbath. So I'm looking forward to finally watching this. I mean, got all these, and it's been hard to find time to watch all these things. But I tell you what, I'm looking forward to binge watching many of these when I get the chance. Especially seeing tomorrow's stars develop right in front of your very eyes. In this case, on Blu-ray. Up next, Rise 4, Warriors Rise, which took place in the United Kingdom. Had this thing signed by Shotzi Blackheart, of course pictured right there, and Delilah Doom. This was the first time that these two met one-on-one. The big rematch happened at Rise 8 Outback. So that was definitely a treat to see. I can't wait to see how this match went. And this whole show, and you got Hardcore Princess Jules Malone. You've got Deonna Purrazzo, who of course is with the villain, Marty Scurll. Rosemary, Mercedes Martinez, Angel Dust, so many more. And then we have Rise 5, Rising Sun. Of course, you guessed it. It's happened to have some stars from Japan, including the one and only Aja Kong. Of course, you got Rachel Ellering on there, another participant, if I remember correctly, in the Mae Young Classic. But importantly, I got this thing signed by Shotzi Blackheart, who, I don't know why she keeps signing down there instead of right where she's pictured at, but hey, she's the ballsy badass. She rules. I also got it signed by Delilah Doom. This, I believe, was famous because it was a four-way, or let's see if I counted correctly, huh? No, I did not count correctly. There's more than four. Well, this was the match where Delilah Doom captured the Phoenix Arise title without pinning Shotzi Blackheart. And, of course, it extended the feud between Delilah Doom and Rosemary, which then led to Rise 6 Brutality, which I've already had signed by Delilah Doom and Taya. This was the second Rise event I attended. This had the famous bloody steel cage match between Delilah Doom and Rosemary. Check this out if you can. And then, of course, the next night was Rise 6.5, Throttle, which featured the podcast of Medusa. Also had Bull Nakano on there, and it also featured some matches. Matches that featured the ballsy badass Shotzi Blackheart, Tony Storm, who is now with NXT, and many others, including Chris Wolf. And that's who I had signed this Blu-ray set. So that was cool, because then later that night was AWF. After the VIP session and the free photo op, we got to choose free DVDs or Blu-rays. And in this case, free Blu-ray I decided to get was Rise 7 Sensation. Had that signed by Shotzi Blackheart there. Can't wait to check that out. Look at that. You got Arriba la Guerra Loca. Taya Valkyrie is on this, as well as many others. Paradise Lost, the Wiley Smileys, man, oh man, cheerleader Melissa, the list goes on and on. Look at that, Charlie Evans and Jessica Troy, Team Blue Nation. Fuck, I should have had him sign that. I fucked up. God damn. And then there was Rise 7.5, Steel. Thanks to my girlfriend Amy for deciding to let me have this to complete my collection. She was looking out for me. I love that. And that's why I also love her, too. So Rise 7.5 Steel. I had that signed by Shotzi Blackheart, who actually signed near her picture. Oh man, look at that. You got Tessa Blanchard versus Shotzi Blackheart. Oh yeah. Britt Baker versus Mercedes Martinez. So many more. Whew, man. That is the Rise collection all right there. Now let's continue. AWS, I got Chris Wolf to sign Final Battle. Again, no presents for Christmas. This was the same night as Rise 6.5 Throttle, and this was also the second half of the second double feature weekend with Rise and AWS. Fun show. Check this one out. Definitely give it a look. And then I decided to get the first Bar Wrestling show signed again. I already had that signed by Candice LeRae and Joey Ryan, the world's cutest tag team, at my first Bar Wrestling show. This time I got Taya to sign it while she was at Rise 8. And I was trying to get Rise 8, or excuse me, not Rise 8, but I was trying to get Bar Wrestling 8 on DVD, but I was told copies of that flew quickly, so I got to try for highspots.com to get a copy of that, which of course was the final show for Candice LeRae. And look at that, it's got some pretty big names on here. Pantera Cero Miedo against Brian Cage. Scorpio Sky from SCU. That's right. Oh man, I love SoCal Uncensored. He even got EC3 on here in a barroom brawl. Shayna Baszler taking on Taya. Pretty Peter Avalon against Pinky Sanchez. Man, oh man. I'll tell you what, I'll say it again. Rise, Bar Wrestling, AWS, they make it happen. You know who else makes it happen is Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. This was my second of 3 Pro Wrestling Guerrilla shows I attended. My first was back in October of 2005. Yeah, back when they were just $20 instead of $80 now for seats. And I had Joey Ryan sign it. These were the matches I got to see at my second show, including the big main event. Kevin Steen versus Samoa Joe. God, those guys hit hard in person. This was a lot of fun to watch. You even have El Generico, a.k.a. Sami Zayn. B-Boy and Ronan. This was my first time seeing B-Boy in person, so I got familiar with that entrance. But look at that. SoCal Uncensored explode back in the day. Christopher Daniels versus Frankie Kazarian. Hey, now. This was a fun show to be at. And, of course, Daniel Bryan, well, I should say the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson's on there. And another former WWE star is there, Jimmy Wang Yang. Man, oh, man. And then the other DVD I got signed from PWG was Night 2 of All-Star Weekend 2, featuring Joey Ryan. The main event, Kevin Steen versus Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh, if you watched the most recent Being the Elite, the Memorial one, he was the one who appeared with SoCal Uncensored, and he was the one who said Dallas is a city that sucks a big bag of dicks. It's the worst town I've ever been in. Oh, man. Nah, I can't say anything about Dallas, but I was a big fan of Chris Bosh. I was a big fan of this main event. One of the most heated main events I'd ever seen in my life. If you want to see what I'm talking about, check out All-Star Weekend 2, Night 2, Electric Boogaloo. Oh, man. But yeah, I had that signed by Joey Ryan, hoping to get this signed by many more, and yeah, it even had Petey Williams on. Recently, I also got a Blu-ray of Delilah Doom, Doomies Never Say Die, which she then, of course, signed. This has many of her matches from Sabotage Wrestling, which, if you live in the Texas area, go to Sabotage shows. I took advantage and went to all 3 Sabotage shows out here in SoCal. SCU! There you go, Delilah Doom signed that. It's got a little mini documentary about her, which I can't wait to check out. And then I can't wait to see how all the matches are on here, especially for the Sabotage shows that I haven't been to. And it's going to also be really cool to relive the other Sabotage shows. There you go. Doomies Never Say Die. I bought a DVD from AWS, Bart's Birthday Bash from 2008, which features a big steel cage match. Well, I should say several steel cage matches, but the one that caught my eye, there you go. Gauntlet match in the steel cage. The Young Bucks versus the Cutler Brothers versus the Ballard Brothers versus Scorpio Sky, SCU, and Little Cholo. Man, oh man. Can't wait to watch that, as ironically, AWS Women's Tournament number 6 was Bart's late birthday bash. Man, oh man. So there you go, that was the VIP pass. And there's the big haul. Holy shit. So much independent wrestling in just 3 days. Oh, man. I'm exhausted after talking about all that. So there you have it. Bar Wrestling, Rise, and AWS. Holy shit. Triple shot weekend. Never gets old. Never gets old doing these Rise and AWS weekends, but now to have bar wrestling on top of that. Oh man. What fun. What memories. Can't wait for more. See you then. And I guess my soul belongs to Paradise Lost.